Hey everybody, welcome back to IeSF 2014. It's time for our third place match. This one is, in a lot of ways, even just as nerve intensive as the finals, right? You look at these guys and they're like, well, if I lose here, I actually get no money whatsoever.
Yeah.
And if I do win, I get 2,000. The difference between that is huge.
It's the difference between 0 and 2,000 is a whole $2,000.
It is.
Yeah.
even though the finals are the same way, 3,000 to 5,000, at least you still get something.
Yeah.
Versus here, you actually don't get anything at all.
And the thing is, like, third and fourth place are very different, just in the culture of humanity. The top three are the ones that get the medals in the Olympics, right?
Right, exactly.
So this is like everything and nothing.
Yeah.
So it's definitely a very pressure-filled match for these two.
Yeah, so it's going to be Seungjae against Herudra. We saw this earlier today where both these players had some good moves, but they also had moves where it seemed like nerves really got to them.
Yeah.
Where they weren't able to think clearly and perhaps even wearing their emotions a little bit too much on their sleeves. So hopefully that doesn't come out. Maybe they'll settle down and say, like, well, these other guys, they're human just like me. We make mistakes, and maybe we can fix that coming up to our next series.
Yeah, I mean, they may have had a lot of emotions in those last matches, but
right.
I think that they can calm. They've already lost. They already aren't going to the finals. They already aren't going to be the grand champions. So I think that kind of calms you down a bit. You're like, okay, I'm trying for third now.
Sure.
It's still very important. There's still some pressure, but not as bad as before.
All right. Well, going into the series, we already saw these guys and their deck list, but we didn't see what bans they had. Do we know that yet, Artos?
Yes, we do, in fact. We have, of course, we know their lists. I'll just read them off again for you guys. Warrior, Priest, Druid, Warlock, and Hunter for Herudra. And he is actually, his Hunter is banned by Seungjae. And then Priest, Hunter, Warrior, Warlock, Druid for Seungjae, and his Hunter is banned.
So it's a mirror match.
Yeah, it's exactly mirrors.
You just read the names in a different order to confuse me. Well, we're going to start off with Warrior versus Priest, and we're also joined on the cast by Ignite, who's been watching the previous series. Welcome to the
Ignite.
desk.
Thanks.
Nunu?
Yeah, Nunu.
Nunu. All right.
So we got here.
So Thought Steal being kept in the opening hand. I mean, people say that can be a valuable card. But it's interesting to prioritize that in the Warrior matchup. Do you think that's an important card to keep here?
Oh, sorry. Technical difficulty just for a second here. Okay, so go ahead. Please re-ask your question.
So Herudra kept Thought Steal in the opening hand. Is that common at all? Like, is that something that's...
okay.
Honestly, I think Thought Steal was one of the biggest game breakers in this matchup, for example. You get your advantage back, and you keep it with Thought Steals mostly. And the surprise factor of what you actually get, the Warrior's going to be like, what am I countering? What am I expecting now?
Well, they can't, so they usually just don't acknowledge it, and yet they're not playing around a stolen Black Knight, for example.
No, certainly. So yeah, I mean, that's the thing about Priest. It may not be on paper a favorite in these control versus control mirrors, but at the end of the day, it's Thought Steal that can change that right around.
Well, we can't deal with this Acolyte, so I guess they go with the next best option. Draw 2 cards, maybe?
Yes, I do think so.
Does he opt for that, I guess? That's one more draw than the Warrior would get.
Yeah, but playing a naked second Cleric, if he just has like Fiery War Axe and gets rid of your other Acolyte, it's like, well, there goes your card draw.
Well, it's fine if he clears one of the Clerics.
Will he clear both, though?
Yeah, if he has Death Spite. Oh, no, wait. He already used coin. Excuse me. Never mind.
You don't actually rely on Clerics to win this matchup, and you don't want to overdraw, since Fatigue War is very important.
Yeah, we actually see this matchup go to Fatigue quite often.
You might opt to actually save the Thought Steal for later, and for example, the Warrior mulligans for the early game. So you know that if you use Thought Steal a bit later, there's going to be more threats in that deck.
Yeah. The higher density of draws, and in fact, oftentimes you get so much valuable information as the game progresses to what he doesn't have yet drawn. Because Thought Steal can only take cards that are in the deck. If he's holding, like his Alex Straza, for example, you can't actually get Thought Steal or Alex Straza off the Thought Steal.
Yeah. Well, we'll go ahead and opt to draw 2 cards. Pretty clear. Actually, almost going to Rope here. But, of course, I think he probably looked at that last series and said, ooh, I made a few play mistakes. I need to slow my play down.
Even more.
It's a tough call, though.
Well, Seungjae, a guy that also was victim to that, and he had to slow down a little bit more. He draws the Fiery War Axe.
Yeah.
He has 2 ways of clearing that 1/3 though.
Yeah, he has cool
Taskmaster
Taskmaster.
gives him the 2 draws.
Okay.
Yeah, that's quite nice. And in fact, with this Taskmaster out, next turn he can clear the other cleric.
Yeah, but at the cost of the Taskmaster as well, because
Yeah.
the cleric's going to run in and heal itself up.
Yeah, most likely. There is a chance that Dark Cultist gets played, but I don't
That
think
as
I'd
well,
play
yeah.
that here. I feel like drawing these cards in the early game is just so nice.
When I play this matchup, I'd rather play the long game.
Yeah.
So
I don't think you're going to rush down a warrior when
Yeah.
sometimes even a hunter deck can't do that.
you should try to capitalize on the fact that you got early clerics to draw as soon as possible, because eventually you're going to run out of a card draw, and you're going to rely on your thought seals for sure.
Well, it looks like he's actually thinking of playing the Dark Cultist to gain a little bit more board out here, but yeah, I feel like that's too bad. He's just going to lose the cleric, and that he didn't really get as many draws off this as he could have. Well, let's see what he does here. He does have 2 different weapons, but uh-oh, our monitor just went off.
That was my fault, guys. I actually
That's
hit the
okay.
power button. Yeah, he draws Deathbite, so that's another way you can remove a lot of these creatures. In fact, Deathbite is really valuable, generally speaking, because the second charge can take out a lot of the 5 health minions that Priest runs.
I do like taking this out first, though, of course.
You missed 1 armor.
Missed 1 armor. Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
And
Seungjae.
once again, playing too quickly. not
Speed
thinking it
Hearthstone
out.
strikes again.
Yeah. It's the amount of times this has happened to him, you'd think he'd really slow down. I mean, after that Holy Nova play that we saw earlier, I feel like I would rope every turn from there on out in the tournament just to make sure stuff like that didn't happen
Not
again.
exactly, but it seems that he's very impulsive on his plays.
Yeah. Oh, man. Yeah, he really needs to take his time on this one and make sure, because this matchup, it's not the 1 damage or the 1 armor that matters, but you also can get sloppy with a lot of the things. And if you take an extra damage on a minion, that's actually a big deal sometimes, because the removal options often end up lining up perfectly if you're careless.
So you agree with Belcher here? I suppose.
I do.
And you can trade with Taskmaster.
Yeah, if
Doesn't
you
have
kill the Taskmaster here,
Yeah.
right? Like, it's not likely he's going to kill this off. And you can Cabal the 1/4 next
He might
turn.
even be forced to drop the axe for the Death Spite
Yeah.
if he wants to clear the Belcher this turn. He does that shield slam, but no shield. Oh, he has a shield block in the middle. Yeah.
You know, what do you think about Spellbreakering this 3/5 and just killing off the... no, I don't like that, because
You have 3
gives so much health to
Yeah.
the Sludge Belcher. It's not quite worth it.
And you're not really scared of the use, so I think Spellbreaker will be better utilized on stuff like Sylvanas and Karn if it happens.
Yeah, this is a little ugly. You might want to opt to remove the first body of Sludge Belcher anyways. Shield block, shield slam.
With shield slam. Then you can clear the use with a weapon.
Yeah,
and
but then you're off curve. That stinks. That really stinks.
you can always play the. You can't play the curve every turn.
Is he not really considering that at all? Oh, so he's gonna opt to remove it, but you.
I don't really like this, I think,
Yeah.
because the slime challenges the Smith itself.
Well, one thing that he may be looking at as well is the 1/4 Smith. This thing could be stolen by Cabal. This is the Cabal turn coming up, so
also
getting like maximum usage out of her
Very
can
true.
be good.
But at the same time, if the use trade's there, your Death Spite's going to be useless for quite a while. Till you get maybe a Taskmaster clear that use.
That said, are you still unwilling to take this Armor Smith? I mean,
I would totally
Cabal
take
Shadow
it.
Priest is still fine.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't know. I think you can take the uses later on in the game.
I love Cabal here.
You can
And
take oozes, another Acolyte, another Smith.
the thing is, he has 2 here, and he has a taunt up. And if he takes this Armor Smith, like, he's going to gain so much armor when this Death's Bite goes off and everything. I feel like that's just a very nice play. But I guess
I
he's...
think dropping Akanai is actually decent. The 3/5 is going to challenge the board. Everything he drops is going to get killed off. Because he has 5 damage potential, and anything above 5 HP is going to get killed off by Shadow or Death.
Well, it looks like he agrees with you on that.
Yeah, and he's going to try to use, and that weapon is going to be quite useless.
Well, we'll see if he has something to remove the ooze with.
Yeah, I think the Akanai is a pretty significant amount of pressure. Plus, he might bait out executes or shield slams, and then he can use his Akanai or his Cabal Shadow Priest can also come safely down the board.
Well, you could Spellbreaker, that is, but do you really want to do that? It's probably your only silence in the deck.
You do have a board clear with this. What happens after you attack, you have
Yeah.
execute.
If you Spellbreaker and then trade with Yakanai, it's real value. He's considering Acolyte.
God, that 1/1 slime is so annoying.
Yeah, it
Very
really
true.
is.
But like you said, if the Smith stayed as if 1/4, it would have gotten stolen. So that could actually be even worse.
I like having silence kept in the hand for other cards like Sylvanas.
Exactly, but at the same time, I think you need to start clearing this board. Wow.
All right, decides he is going to go ahead and draw.
And he's gonna not waste, but he's gonna use that execute on the Alkanai most likely.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
I'd be pretty surprised if he didn't here.
too threatening to buff it up and leave it out because it's just way too strong.
Whoa, he's counting on Brawl then.
Yeah,
Okay.
he drew Brawl, so he's going to try to use that as AoE removal.
It's actually fine though, because if you Brawl, if the Alkanai lives, it's gonna be damage, even if he gets the cultist buff, for example.
Yeah, but now
Then he
this
can get execute.
this leaves an opportunity for Cabal Shadow Priest to take
He
the
might be
1/2.
expecting this, which would make the brawl play a lot. Like the brawl play suddenly looks a lot
Exactly.
better then. He's making him commit another minion to the board. The minion isn't actually doing that much for him.
Yeah, if Cabal comes down, it's actually very good.
Yeah. I quite like it. And the thing is, I look at that board,
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm of course Caballing this. Why wouldn't I? I don't want the warrior to draw another card.
I
I'll
mean,
get to draw another card most
If he
likely.
brawls, I'm okay with that too, because the Dark Cultist will pop, and usually
Yeah.
whatever survive, you can get a pretty decent card.
It is true.
Like, you basically have an injured
But
Blade Master.
He does have
at the same
an
time,
execute
though,
as well.
Isn't it sort of a tell when you attack the 1/1 with a weapon that you probably have an execute? And then eventually drew into the Brawl. Like, you could possibly actually read that.
That is
Be-
true. You
if you
could
go
you
into the
could,
1/1 with a 4/1, you're really telling that you have removal ready.
or you have an awful hand.
It's a good point. It is a good point. It would.
He has a huge hand.
It
How
could've-
awful can it be?
The only thing that covers it a bit is the acolyte. The hand might be so terrible. He's like, I have to draw.
Look at that Brawl.
If the Cabal Shadow Priest survive, this is actually a disaster.
Okay.
All right, well, now
Get
you can
the best
execute
result.
what's remaining.
All right. Well,
But-
that worked out pretty well for him.
Well,
Yeah.
3 out of 4. So
Well, now
guess the
Thought
Thought
Steal
yeah.
does lead to some interesting possibilities. I didn't see many legendaries in the hands of the warrior.
Yeah.
And
so there's
everything
gonna be a lot.
you draw.
Also, Belcher, if he gets the Belcher or even Lothab here, you can follow it up.
Yeah, that would be quite nice.
This is always the scariest moment for the warrior player. Oh,
That's
Hey,
so
not bad.
much value, honestly.
wow.
You got a hard removal. That's huge.
Oh, man. Herudra was so happy about that. He almost healed his opponent.
So you got a 4
He
damage
deserves
removal.
something for this, right?
You got a 4 damage removal and an execute.
It's pretty sick.
Yeah.
And hey, he has another thought steal in there. He might be able to even proc this
Indeed,
guy.
Yeah.
Well, Seungjae does have 2 cards that can give problems to the priest. The Alex Straza will bring the opponent down to 15 health, but he doesn't have the threat following it. And then Ysera, of course, if you can get past mind control, is just so problematic because the stats.
Yeah, unfortunately, he already has mind control, so if Ysera comes down next turn, the priest is just going to smile.
Right, he's got 2 ways to take it, in fact.
Yeah, that
That's
is true.
Yeah. But which way would you opt for?
Mind control.
Mind control.
Yeah.
Of course, yeah. It's
Sylvanas
great
can be
usage
played
with
as a
10 mana.
You don't
Standalone
want to
as
give
well.
up Shadow Word Death against Warrior that easily.
Yeah,
Yeah, exactly.
That's so much more flexible, and it's even 1 mana less.
Yeah, true that. Sludge Belcher seems to be the only course of action here.
Yeah.
Gromash, actually, you could do that, but I think it's a lot
I think
weaker.
you might save it as removal.
I think so, too.
And look, it's a flashy play, and it's fun.
It is.
You might be able to thought steal away to proc it, seriously.
That Alex Straza. Not going to do much, though.
Oh.
Priest will be able to heal back up.
Yeah. Would you just straight Shadow Word Death this?
You can Holy Fire and trade it in as well. You go up to 22.
Oh yeah, you know what? That's actually I kind of like that. It's a pretty
There's still
creative
going to be
use
targets
of it.
for death, for example, Grom and
Yeah.
Rag. And I'm not sure if
And
he runs get him, does
your
he?
own Sylvanas as well. Like that's.
Yeah, that as well.
I quite like your idea there. This is like a perfect usage of Holy Fire because you want to use Holy Fire after Alex Strauss.
And the Ruse still challenges the weapon, so.
Yeah. Yeah, I really like that. In fact, I'm angry if he doesn't do that. That sounds to me like such the best play.
I'd be mad too. On your behalf, of course. I'm indifferent.
Whoa.
Oh, mind
Wow.
control.
Is this really the card that he wants to take?
I guess he doesn't care about his errors since he has the
Maybe he
execute.
wants
I
to
feel like-
kill his opponent. He's the one with Alex and Gromosh now?
He
He's
should
giving him a BGH target.
Yeah.
There's no other target in his whole deck.
You really don't need to use this on that. You save that for something else, I think.
That's 7 man. Seungjae, I think, fell asleep during that turn.
Wait, just
Resident
straight up Lothar?
sleeper.
Wow.
He's going to execute? What?
Taskmaster.
No, he's gonna.
And a BGH.
Oh, okay.
BGH,
I was going to say.
He was faking you out, man.
Yeah, no, I'm like, listen, you're not going to get another BGH target. This is it.
Uh-oh. Someone needs to slide Seungjae a coffee or something. Tell him wake up. He's playing for $2,000.
Yeah, I think he's so stressed right now. He knows he's made a lot of play mistakes. He's playing too fast.
Yeah.
You know,
I don't blame him.
the pro gamer life is a stressful one.
Why Lothar here, though? He's just 10 mana. Do you actually want to stop a specific play of spells?
I think he wants to just try to put out a minion body that could potentially threaten to kill.
Yeah, and look at it. He's at 15 health, so he's like, well, I mean, he draws into Gromash's game. That's for sure. In fact, he's got so much damage right this second. That's like 13. Not that hard to really trip into lethal.
Well, I think you got to spend some removal here, though. You can't, like, this is still rather scary.
Well, you can try to use and execute, but you can't really clear anything else if you do that. You can also Cabal that Taskmaster, but you can even Grom into either Lothar with Ooze or Big Game on turn. But
Oh, this is really optimistic.
Yeah, it is.
That your opponent isn't going to draw Grom or has Grom. I mean, he already saw that his opponent didn't have it when he thought stole, but that's been a few turns now.
he has no way to deal with a Grom Taskmaster, however. Or a Grom Activator. There's the
And that is it.
Oh, Seungjae woke up to that one.
Right?
Is it
Wait, no.
lethal?
Is that
Yeah,
actually?
it is.
Yeah, for
yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
There's
That's a
no
lot
way.
of damage. Damn.
That's
Oh,
top deck.
man.
Owl's
Well.
favorite priest in this matchup, but this was crazy.
Someone played the pokey flute for this guy.